It's been a day of not remembering song lyrics and titles, but it's all good though.
Because our brains have gone back. So it's throwback Thursday. So our brains have gone back.
We
We are
a
in
little
94,
bit.
95.
Yeah, it's way back, and we've left what is current. But it's all good. It's all good though. You know, for 10 years now as well, Rhythms on the Runway has been very active. Big shouts to the brain behind it, the 1957 squad, and the leader himself, the leader of the pack, KOD, Kofi Ochre Dakun, who's been like a brother, a big brother. KOD, I keep saying that everybody owes KOD in this industry. I mean,
He's been
one way or the other, you would definitely have to, you have an encounter with him, and he's always one of those people that would always even reach out to you and check up on you. You know, KOD has got that attitude as well. So, big shouts going out to KOD, who will be his team will be guests on the show via Zoom this morning to talk more about fashion and music and preparations gearing up towards the Rhythms on the Runway, which is about to happen. I think in the next couple of days, or if it's not this weekend, Sunday. Yes, so a couple of days coming up. Why? Well, you have to be there, right?
I definitely have you guys for date. Sexy guys.
Sexy guys.
Yeah, you
Are
sexy
you not
guys.
lucky? Are you not lucky?
We'll sozo.
Well, also we have our miss this morning, but he's not talking about fashion and music. He's talking about dance to music.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Robert Clark is our guest this morning. Should we
champion.
make reference to Charterhouse, or we should just keep you away from Charterhouse this morning?
Oh, this morning is about Dance of Terror.
It's about him.
No, Dance of Terror.
It's about dance terror.
Yeah. I wear many hats and I have to use it when I have to.
Yeah. He wears the different hats.
Lady.
Yeah.
Multi-hatted.
The red hair is gone.
But whilst we get to connect with our team from 19th, the Rhythms on the Runway, whilst we get to connect with them real quickly, I want to get confirmation about the Afrobeats conversation. I'm still quite sad that you want to give the ambassadorial role to Wizkid. Not that I don't like Wizkid. I love Wizkid. I mean, any day, all day, every day.
Cyril was trying to get.
But I think that we should just give credits where credit is due.
Today, your friend who always will support you on Twitter disagrees with you.
It's sad that
and he
he's
says,
been bribed by Cyril.
even with influence,
Yes.
Wizkid has more influence in the world,
Like, I don't know
way
why
more than Berna. And you know what he did? He typed the Berna in capitals. I don't know why. And he said, check the track record now and even music certification.
Wizkid, if it's not only
anything Berna
Drake
is doing now, Wiz has done
Drake is
long
doing.
time ago.
If it's not only
doing.
Drake and Drake said like it down in the top.
Thank you, Steven.
Yeah, Drake and Justin Bieber and what's that other person he's always with?
He's
Chris
done
Brown.
He's done
Aside from these three friends that he has.
Now
that's
become
all. That's all. We'll come to Bernard later on when he's eating lobster with DJ Khaled. But anyway, we'll be going to our conversation. We'll come to lobster conversation. Cyril, lobster. Our guests are live online with us this morning. So I've got yes, I've got a fashion designer and founder of Mod HQ. It's Ami Yomepe, and also I've got Aaron Eagley. Aaron, good morning. He's events and communication GM for Hugly, and Joey Darkon as well, freelance fashion designer. And these are all indirect or direct active members making this event happen on Sunday with Rhythms on the Runway. Let me just get them on the line now if they can hear me. Good morning. And I think team, if you want to hear them as well, we'll put our headsets on. Good morning to the team. Hello. There they are. Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Squad. This whole squad. Okay,
Hi,
so I
good
just
morning.
please, you can unmute your microphones in case it's off, and then we can hear you loud and clear. First off, I want to pick each person's involvement in Rhythms on the Runway this year. Let me start off with you, Aaron.
Hi, good morning. So this year, my role in Rhythms on the Runway is essentially to manage the green carpet area with working with closely with Nabil and the team.
Okay, so that means we'll be coming into the green carpet experience this year as well. Before that, so let me move to Amy. Amy, good morning.
Ami.
No,
Hi, good morning.
I beg your pardon, Amy. I keep saying Amy. Please pardon me. You should understand that
Who
I'm
corrected
British.
you so quickly?
I'm British by profession. Amy, please talk to us.
That's okay.
Your
That's
involvement
okay.
in this year's event.
Can you hear me, Sally?
Loud and clear.
Oh, great. So I'm one of the designers on board. I run Mod HQ, which is a women's wear fashion brand based here in Accra. And we are very excited for this year. This 10th edition is really going to be memorable.
Wow, we're looking forward to that. And then let me move to Joey Darko as well. Joey, good morning.
Good morning, Jay.
Talk to us, your involvement this year.
Okay, so this year I'm actually helping with coordination with the designers as well as, basically communications as well.
All right, very exciting. So now let's drill down to understanding what it's all about this year. Let me come back to Ami, aka I'll say Amy. Let me come back to Ami. I mean, give us an idea. Yes, give us an idea of what we are. I mean, this is going to be a visual experience. What we are looking forward to be seeing this year.
So Rhythms on the Runway has always been like a melting pot of fashion, music, and culture. And this year is not going to be any different. It's just going to be more amplified. So you need to be there to see it. Not just a visual spectacle, but also an auditory spectacle, a memorable spectacle, things that you will keep talking about after the show is done. So I would encourage everybody to be there.
In terms of designs, have you had a chance to, I'll be throwing that question to Joey, but in terms of what the designers will present, and have you had a chance to experience, and what do you have to say about it?
Well, designers are very, very secretive at this point because we want to be able to reveal what we've been working on for months. So I can't say for sure right now. I can only speak for myself, and what we've worked on this year is something we haven't done before, and it's really challenged our creative process. And even though sometimes it's tough, I just say to myself, we've never done this before. So this would be a good opportunity for us to show how really creative we can be.
You're working with the models, aren't you?
Yes, yeah.
What kind of grooming are they going through? Because now it's no more a Ghanaian conversation. It's a global conversation. What kind of what does it take to create these models to make them walk these runways to look so international? Anytime we come by and see them, what kind of work is going into this year's event?
Well, for this year, I know we are working with not just with Ghanaian models, we're also working with some guest models who are not particularly Ghanaian. So also making sure that the Rhythms brand can stand on the global stage. This is quite important. And as a designer, obviously the collection that you're building, you must have a concept that you need to carry through, and the models also need to embody that concept. Do you want them to look elegant? Do you want them to look futuristic, etc.? So having the models buy into this concept is very important because they're also part of the story you're going to tell on the runway. And I believe we have the girls to do that this year.
Joey, coming to you, what is your major input into this, and what are we looking out to get from what you are working on with Rhythms on the Runway?
Okay, so I am more of the behind-the-scenes kind of guy with a lot of brands, multiple brands, as I like to put it. And my involvement this year is actually to try and capture what the industry needs and infusing it to, what the vision of 1957 for Rhythms on the Runway is, because there are two major things at play here in the creative space, all in the creative space. We have music and we have fashion. And usually, KOD is someone who is well-versed in both industries. And what he has done is pick the relevant people so that they can better put out the relevant stakes for both of them. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you have music, like a music concert, it's a major thing. When you have a fashion runway show alone, it's also a major thing. But merging both of them, you would definitely need people who understand the industry individually to play a major part of it and then bring it together to merge very well. So I think that's what we are trying to harness this for Rhythms on the Runway all the way through, and it keeps getting better every year. It's the 10th year, and we are super excited about it.
I mean, it's 10 years already. First off, how long have you been working on on this brand?
Trust me, I've been with KOD for for as long as I can remember. Like you said in your introduction, everybody owes KOD, and it's actually a privilege to come on board. This is my first time in-house for Rhythms on the Runway in particular, but I've known and been working with KOD directly and indirectly for about 10 years. So I'm super excited about this one and the growth that the brand has seen.
Well, definitely, people always look out for the experience at Rhythms on the Runway because you always amplify the experience each year. I wish you could have been drilled down to exactly what we'll be seeing and experiencing when we come, but I know you say come and see it for yourself. But yes, we've been talking about carpets and the carpet experience. Now we've heard of black carpets, we've heard of green carpets, blue carpets, now even moving away from the red carpets. Aaron, what is the experience going to be like this year?
So, typical of fashion events, you would have the typical paparazzi doing their pictures and all that. But what we're adding to this year is that we all know football is starting with Sunday, and we feel that we don't want people to pick and choose and say, oh, I'll do football instead of doing fashion. So we're bringing a bit of football into the experience zone. Together with DSTV, we're having a giant screen to screen the opening ceremony and the first match. And also, you know that where there's football, there must be some food and some drink and some beer. So we're also bringing in a food van, plus our favorite wache from Rockstones Wache would be there. And then some pints of beer as well, and some drinks from some of our sponsors will also be available. So we are expecting that the green carpet would be a great place to start a great evening.
My very own Terry Mingle also joins us in the conversation this morning, and he's communications executive Rhythms on the Runway. Terry, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing terrific.
AKA Mike.
Yourself?
I'm good too. Well, Terry, so this year, how many fashion designers have been engaged so far?
About 14 or 15 fashion designers, ranging from emerging brands to Corp Daily, which is quite a clash of fashion titans on the big stage this come November 20th. 2022.
There are so many fashion designers who look forward to being part of Rhythms on the Runway because of the prestige it carries. How do you select who is going to be on this year? What's the criteria? What goes into it?
First of all, I'd like to start by saying that we are actually celebrating the ingenuity of African talent. So we'll look for brands that are actually, progress-oriented, brands that understand trends, brands that understand the fact that we need to carry the mantle of Africa to a bigger height and try to elevate the status quo of what the world thinks about Africa. So in that sense, we actually look for brands who are well aligned with some of the missions, the visions, and of course the objectives of Rhythms on the Runway. And that's what truly we actually look out for, the most important thing.
That's exciting. Now, on the back of that, let me ask you, Joey. So, in its entirety, what kind of I don't know how to say whether it's the imaging or when I come and I watch these fashion designers exhibit their outfits and their clothing in total, what am I going to what sense of I don't know how to put it as in what am I going to get the experience am I going to get from all this? Is it painting a certain African story? Is it drilling down to a Ghanaian culture? What exactly will be exhibited and what's the story behind it?
Okay, so I think the first thing we should take a look at is the fact that the fashion industry is an economic driving force for every country. And it has been and it will continue to be for a very long time as far as we are, as human beings, need clothing. And it transcends from just being a need or a necessity to being something that is attached to culture and is attached to the way of life of a certain group of people. So narrowing down to what we are going to have this year at Rhythms on the Runway, it's going to be, a heightened key of Ghana is the place to be right now. And everybody's talking about Ghana. Everybody's having that conversation. Hollywood is moving to Ghana. Everybody is moving to Ghana now. So there's that spotlight on Ghana and the creative space. So what we are going to do, or what you should expect, is a lot of identity being blown up for the entire globe to see. We have a lot of creative people in our space, and we always have had the small stages, played on the small stages. But now is the time when we have our local designers styling Hollywood superstars and all. I feel like now is the time we are going to just exhibit what we truly have.
I think I lost a part of your audio there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. So I was just saying is for us to show to the world what we've always had creative-wise, and blow it up for the entire globe to be a part of or witness. So yeah, you should expect everything and anything creative.
That's exciting. Now, talking about anything creative, Ami, so sometimes we see very extraordinary, designs from designers that are showcased on runways specifically. Are these commercial or targeted as a certain niche market? Are they, yes, ready to wears?
It all depends on the vision of the designer. I always say that fashion shows are the best platforms to blow your mind. So when you see all these extravagant things and you wonder to yourself, would this ever be worn? Fashion is also a form of creative expression. For the designer, this is the point where he or she can show how wild she can go, or he can go, with manipulating fabric, working with different elements, etc. Think of it as a painter and a canvas, and the artist being able to express himself on canvas with beautiful colors. You see it and you wonder, how did this come about? That's what it is for a fashion designer. So a fashion show can have a mix of all these ones that you've mentioned. It could be ready to wear, it could be couture, it could be blowing your mind as far as you can go. It all depends on the vision of the designer. For me, I always say that having a mix of everything is always a good thing. So there's something for everybody.
That's exciting. On the back of that, does it come, usually when fashion shows happen, does it directly impact the fashion designer in any way? And if it does, how does it impact the fashion designer?
Well, again, it depends on what you're putting out there. I always say that fashion shows are an investment, and also an investment into your brand, showcasing what you can do. You might not get a return on the investment immediately, as in there and then, but it will come later on. I've done quite a number of them, and it's interesting how shows that were done 5 years ago are now impacting my business. So it depends on what you're showing. If you're showing ready to wear and somebody sees it and wants to purchase it there and then, great. If you're showing couture or you're showing bridal that somebody sees and makes a mental note that, oh, I saw this designer on this runway, I'd like to get in touch, that's also great. So I always say that it's an investment. See it as an investment, and that investment will surely pay off.
It sounds exciting again. Now, Aaron, I'll be coming to you in a bit, but still on Amy, do you have any personal experiences of, people who have contacted you for a particular extravagant or creative outfit that you produced?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we've done quite a number of shows over the years, and sometimes it's immediate, sometimes it takes some time, sometimes it's even years. I saw you in a show in Cape Town, and I really like what you showcased. Can I have it made? I'm like, that was years ago, but then, no, I want to get it. And so that's down to you as a designer to also keep being as creative as you can possibly be, and keep improving yourself and keep pushing yourself, because that's the only way you keep drawing from that well of creativity. It's like a muscle that needs to be exercised all the time. So the more creative you are, the better you get at it.
Okay, so I'm sticking to Aaron and Terry. I'm going to come to you for technical conversations shortly, but to Joey, how do fashion designers who exhibit their stuff on the runway protect what they have in terms of designs? I don't know if, because yes, in music there's copyright and all, but what about fashion designers?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there are a couple of fashion lawyers actually in Ghana now. You can do that, but the thing is, on a more general scale, it will be very difficult for you to trace because as an industry, we've not gotten to the stage where we can actually, trace where who is doing what at what point. Let's ask ourselves how many fashion companies are actually even properly registered, in the first place for you to, trace all of this. And there are brands coming up every single time. So now, industry-wise, what we are trying to do is have a collective or a guild, for lack of a better word, to try and trace all of this. And through that, we would get to know which brands are properly established, which brands people should go to and trust. In industries like Italy, Milan, they have these proper channels that you can actually trace where a particular garment is coming from or who, did it first, so to speak. So I think that's one of the advantages of a fashion show where people get to forecast their creativity and then patent whatever look they have. Balenciaga does it, Gucci does it, all of that. But they are in the space of a properly structured industry. Okay. And so it's very easy for you to, put your mark on your work or put your stamp on your work. But now we have things like trends and other factors that goes into creativity that makes it very difficult for you to know who this particular garment belongs to. With the guild in Milan, they have a five-factor rule that if you make a dress, and if someone else makes a dress and you can change 5 things about the dress, it becomes your own. So you can change color, maybe button, you can change the cut of the bottom, you can change the color, and then it becomes your own creative work. Okay, so there are little bits and bobs of factors that goes into that. It's very technical, but I think what we can do now is try and focus on building an industry that comes together, and then we can take it up from there step by step.
Wow. Okay. I think you had a question you wanted to ask here.
So I wanted to ask, maybe Terry could help us with this. 10 years ago, you set out to do Rhythms on the Runway. 10 years on, would you say that you have achieved the set goal, or say the purpose for which Rhythms on the Runway has been established?
So actually, what began as a humble, intimate gathering at Citizen Kofi about a decade ago has today become, sayably or agreeably, $1 million, uniting a league of music legends and, of course, a clash of fashion titans like that under one group. So this actually reaffirms the hope that all dreams can come true if we actually have the courage to pursue it. Rhythms on a Runway has actually come a very long way. There has been a lot of evolution, development, learning, some triumphs, perhaps some losses. But in the end, of course, you could definitely agree that, yes, there has been some transitioning and some learning curves throughout the way. And yes, this year, we actually would say that there is the green edition. So, of course, we're trying to drive people towards a more sustainable way of fashion. Some people do argue that Africa actually already is sitting within the sustainable space. But I also like to say this, that we're still in a sustainability movement, the entire fashion industry. And I still feel that Africa as a continent is still struggling. For 1 billion people living in the continent of Africa, there's not nearly enough accessible and sustainable fashion options to meet the demands. And we're also a growing niche. So what's going to happen is if we don't learn these different schematic mechanisms now, it might actually affect us later if we're not prepared for what's to come. So I feel that now's the time to start the conversation about sustainable fashion, even though in certain circles it's already practiced, for people to understand the need. Yes, as opposed to it just being a behavioral culture.
And also, I just want to add that, we have Lagos Fashion Week, even here we have Accra Fashion Week and all that going on around the continent. 1957 Rhythms on the Runway, is this going to be a product that will move from just being held in Ghana to other, neighboring countries, even in Africa. So far as we are looking to promote, African brands, are we looking to move the product from being hosted here in Ghana or have editions in other neighboring countries to perhaps activate a wider market?
Absolutely. You'd actually pay close attention to most of our communication wordings. You'd realize that we don't just centralize most of our messages to Ghana, but actually a way of uniting Africa on a bigger front. So definitely, this is something we're looking to taking it even not just on the African continent, but even to the African diaspora, because of course, Africans are not only found on this land, but everywhere else. So the bigger picture, the vision is to actually go out there, go large, stand loud and proud, and of course, wave the African flag across the world.
I'm going to come to the commercial. Yeah, I mean, okay, you're going to say, I was coming to you as well. I mean, do you have a reaction from you on that? Okay.
No.
Okay, all right. Yes, I have a question to ask you, but let me just touch on something with Aaron real quickly. Years on, we've had experiences, not with Rhythms on the Runway though, but about how the customer experience or the attendees experience on the red carpet, how you access, how long you're standing on there, where to go, waiting. Sometimes it gets a bit, for want of a better expression, maybe crowded, confusing. I just want to just run us through what is going to happen, the sequence of events on that green carpet on Sunday night.
All right. That's a very important thing doing is that we're starting the entry process right from the gate, from the main gate into the conference center, while we are going to have about
I think you may have to reposition yourself so we can hear you
so
better.
As and when you walk in, okay. So I'm saying that from right from the gate, we're going to have about 15 people, hostesses, welcoming you and assisting you through the ticketing process whilst you walk down the green carpet. So we don't want to have a situation where there's a long queue, people are waiting for their ticket to be verified, etc., etc. But then right from the gate, you have that whole process coming in before you even hit the green carpet itself. So that queue of people forming the queue is totally out. And so we have two versions of tickets. We have the physical tickets and then
I think
the 15 hostesses.
Yeah.
And then there's also a desk that we have for hard copy tickets. If there are any technical challenges with verifying it, there's an on-site team from B-Ticket.
I believe to confirm your ticketing as well. We're having challenges with his connection, but Ms. Shinsiro, you wanted to?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Ami. She mentioned that it's not just going to be a visual experience, but also an auditory one. So I wanted her to kind of get into that. What are we going to experience on the auditory level? What do they have planned in terms of performances, other attractions, and stuff like that?
Okay, so in my earlier submission, I did mention that Rhythms has always been like a melting pot of music and fashion. So I know that we have some very, very stellar performances. I don't want to mention the people because I want you to come to the show. But the designers as well have special things they want to do with the kind of music that the models would go on the runway with. So then you're having a full experience. It's not just, you're just watching models parade down the runway, but what you're hearing is also tied to what you're seeing. So that it's a full experience that you're having. So this Sunday is really going to be amazing. I don't know what else to say, but yeah. To be there.
Okay.
If I could,
I want to ask, as beautiful as Rhythms on the Runway may look to us, on the outside, you guys are in there and you know what comes, what you put in terms of cost. Now, I've heard that Rhythms on the Runway after the 10th year might not return because of, sponsorship, because people are not willing to invest. I've heard that it's more like a daunting task for you to get people to buy into the idea and to put in their money. And looking at the fact that you say you're promoting Africa, and we have a ministry that is trying to project, what we have here in Ghana and all of that, I want you to tell me how far you've gone to reach out to first the ministry, and if it's true that sponsorship is a big deal for Rhythms on the Runway, and if that is going to have an effect on the years going forward. I don't know who is going to pick that question though.
Well, the communications director will take it.
Absolutely. I would say this, that if you actually look at our social media platforms, you'd realize that we're actually in partnership with Ghana Tourism Authority, who actually operates under the aegis of the Ministry of Tourism here in Ghana. So absolutely, you could tell that there are works in progress where we get to partner with these monumental and very significant government bodies within the industry. And yes, so we are working with the Ministry of Tourism. It is difficult, wouldn't lie about it, because sometimes they need to make sure that your vision and objectives are aligned with theirs. That's the first step to actually agreeing to whether they would want to be a part of this, be it whether you're actually your vision is actually to support Africa in the end. So yes, sometimes it gets very difficult, but I would say that the partnership so far is actually fruitful and it's progressive.
All right, great. I think we're running out of time. We got the notification on there as well. We could have an extensive conversation, but in just one word each from all four of you, what is it going to be like, the take-home experience with Rhythms on the Runway 10th edition? Starting from Joey. One word.
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. Ami?
Yes.
A night to remember.
That's like 3 words in there. Well, green carpet.
Yeah, it's a phrase, but
Yes, green carpet experience. Aaron.
Awesome.
Awesome. I'm taking that as well. And Terry.
I would say unforgettable.
Thank you very much. On that note, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, giving us insights. We'll see you all on Sunday then, and wishing you all the best with the event. All right.
thank you.
Yes, so that is,
Have a good
the
day.
team from Rhythms on the Runway going to give us a night to remember this coming Sunday. All right, so now let's move on to other conversations we have lined up this morning. We're talking about 2 things. Yes, we have Mr. Robert Clark in our midst as well. Before we come to Dance Terra.
No, Dance Terra.
Dance Terra.
Dance Terra.
We'll come into it, but this conversation, we'll still be having this Afrobeat conversation as well before we come, because it's all part of dance.
Yeah, you don't
understand?
like
There's
peace.
music and dance, and
You don't like
it goes hand in hand.
I want to actually say something about that.
Before we go on a commercial break, real
Okay,
quick.
okay,
Yeah.
fine.
No, you can say it.
Okay, so with respect to the fashion thing, ethnomusicology
Okay.
basically gives you the cultural aspect of music and how it's actually able to create some amount of dominance, right? And I'm looking at what the Americans have done with hip hop. Hip hop is going to turn 50 years next year, and you can't be a hip hop music lover without the culture. And when we say culture, what do we mean? The
Three
music
music,
comes,
fashion.
but fashion is in there. And I'm thinking, one of the areas that's missing is Afrobeats is going crazy, is going out there huge. The music is going out there. The dance is going out there.
The culture
What
is
are the
missing.
other things? We need to be able to intentionally project the elements of culture. And I'm looking at a
Fashion.
possible fashion for Afrobeats maybe next year. Maybe I should tell KOD personally, but that would be something.
I'm patenting the idea. I say, telling you. Fashion for Afrobeat. I'll put my hand on it. Please, you heard it here first. From Robert, but as I said, I have said it
Are
already.
you going to pay royalties to
Afro
him?
fashion.
Yeah.
And not just that, we just need to be able to think about this whole Afrobeat thing comprehensively from the cultural perspective. If it's just music, you will never dominate. If you hear hip hop, your head is going this way. They are even giving you attitudinal elements, things that you need to be able to project. Look, lingo. Right now, you realize that anybody who wants to sing Afrobeats, they're trying to speak in a particular way, and that's because of the cultural, share, and it goes on and on. So hip hop came with breakdance. All right, hip hop came with graffiti, came with MCing, it came with all the elements. Just study them and then ask yourself, what else can we also share, from the perspective of the Afrobeats, because that's how you dominate, And it's the same with, if you go into the Spanish era of the salsa people, it's the same. It's there. You just have to check it from the cultural perspective. So I think that we need to be able to embrace that aspect.
We have opened doors to a big conversation. We'll come back to another issue with regards to music and the Blackstars and certain Ghanaian artists who have willingly produced songs that we're hoping to cut it for as official songs for the Blackstars, and what happened to it as well. But before we just jump into that quick commercial break and come back into the conversation, get ready for the city's hottest streetwear pop-up and concert, which is Dub Mania 2022. Now, the culture is happening on the 2nd of December at 3 Music HQ, and it's going to start off from 12 noon till 11 p.m. Just come and be entertained by your favorite Spacely, La Mem Gang, Lasmid, La Russo, Baba J, Young Dems, and there's many more. Now, see and buy latest urban drip Ghanaian streetwear brands like Squad Alchemy, HS Vintage, and 3 and 3, among others. To get your tickets, just dial this number, *713 *33 *217 #. Again, *713 *33 *217 #. All right, so purchase your tickets at 3 Music HQ and also Esibon Studios. Now visit our Ego Tickets profile and call this number if you want more information. I'll get the number later on. But it's sponsored by media partners, of course, 3 Music, Comeback Services, and Create. Creatures, I think so. Creatures, anyway. And it's brought to you by Sam Fido Lifestyle, Labadi Music, and Band Wagon as well. Now, I see all this ties into music, dance, and of course, fashion. A quick break. Let's come back and talk about the Blackstars, the music, and our Ghanaian artists. We'll be right back.
This year we go do wonders. We go show progress. We go conquer with prayers. What did they do, dear? Concept. We go run kitty kitty. We go score kata kata. Blackstars, we come with fire fire. No retreat, no surrender. Hey, bring back the love where you say you get for your country. Forget the past, but we move on. Cheers to victory. Bring back the love where you say you get for your country. Forget the past, but we move on. Cheers to victory. I know that it won't be hard, we know. Now the road will be muddy and rough. And see a bear, man, I am afraid. Heavy no say, but I am an I afraid. We know. Now, me, hit it. Now, me, hit it. I'm in a hilly, I'm in a hilly. Get a bona, look at cable. 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 Get a bona, look at cable.
I say, Ghana, we go go. We go go. Blackstars, we go go. I say, Ghana, we go go.
Let's go. Can't promise. Someone in Ghana. Listen, I say, Ghana, we go go. We go go, Blackstars we go go. I say Ghana we go go, we dey go, Blackstars we dey go. Hey, Ghana we go go, Blackstars we dey go. Yeah, I say Ghana we go go, Blackstars we dey go. Now who they play like us, who they score like us? Jordan, are you, he be top striker. Who are you trying to test the
Well, we are back on live now. So these were three songs we played from three different Ghanaian artists: Kweku Flake, Akwawa, and Kim Promise. You heard the songs for yourself, and they produced these songs by themselves. I can't confirm for Kim Promise whether he was contracted or not, because seeing that GFA on there. But however, they produced these songs by themselves, and I'm very sure they were also hoping to get these songs to become official Black Star music. We want your opinions on there on our social media platforms. There's 3 Music on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You find us on there, and plus 89.9 FM or 899 FM on Twitter and Facebook as well. But let me just get my in-house conversation going real quickly. We want to spend just 10 minutes on there because we have a lot to digest this morning. Let me start with Olele, then I can come through Robert all the way to Serial.
I don't know why they're laughing.
Do I assume that your laughter means that you are not enthused about what you've just heard from these three guys?
I almost closed the show.
I'm not talking to you.
I'm sorry. I'm
talking to Olele.
What happened there before we came back?
I will close the show.
But yeah, what is the benchmark for a Blaster song? The benchmark for a Blaster song is Grace Ashley or Come on Blasters, Ghana, but even that one exactly. But what I'm trying to say is, as far as I'm concerned, growing up listening to Blackstars songs or songs made for the Blackstars, he has to have some kind of jammer feel to it.
Blackstars, we dey go. We dey go.
You see why they laugh?
Yeah. It's more like Prim Pro Jama.
Please,
it's not
please.
what
I'm taking charge of this conversation.
So, so far out of the 3,
yes,
I think I will go for Kweku Flake's Blaster song. That's the.
I've not heard it. What's it like?
Oh, you just heard it a few minutes
Which
ago.
one was it?
Are you ready?
I missed it. I don't have the English.
But it was playing this.
He was playing in the studio, my brother.
Was I talking?
Play it again
you know the mistake is on.
I saw Kim Promise and the first one, the one that he climbed the thing.
Please hold on, I beg you. I will come.
You know the mistake all the artists did with the lineups. They didn't wait for the lineup to come up. So
the name
as no door is not free.
Oh,
Educator is not there.
Yeah, wow.
Wakaso is not there.
Oh, but that one there, it doesn't matter because we've been singing Grace Ashley's song. Some of the players she's mentioned, they were not.
No, you say that's the beauty of what was like before and now. You know, off the top of your head, right? Mm-hmm. You know the first 11 of the Blackstars. These days, it's not like that. You know, that's where it's a different conversation together. But coming back to the songs, I feel like you should have more of a jammer feel to it.
Rob.
Dance a terror.
He's about to bend down the studio. Rob is about to bend down the studio.
Yeah, please raise the mic for me. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. What my feedback on what the songs?
Yeah, the songs you've heard.
Yeah. Well, I think that something Jama, as I mentioned in the background before this particular on-air bit, but yeah. I think we should sell culture. We should tap into that. I'm looking at, there are so many Jama songs that are like very commanding, inspiring, and, just basically gets people rallying around, I would have loved to experience that as an option. I don't know what is going to come out from the various ones they've mentioned, like the various songs we've listened to. And so obviously you always want to listen because you can't think or assume you know it all. So let's these songs right and let's see how it's going to come out. But I would have loved a Jama option, with somebody clearly commanded and Blackstars, something, and then everybody will respond. Yeah.
Oh, say, yeah.
What's the name of that guy now? You do at the
Please.
So I would have loved that kind of vibe.
You and Cyril, the communication going on between the two of you is not going to be very helpful.
I believe I've been a good boy too.
For whatever reason, she started laughing before. Yes, and I don't know what posture you are taking on this. This is hard work that has gone into this.
No, for clarity, we're not laughing about the song.
No. We are not laughing about the song.
Come on, we're not laughing about the song.
Nishi, you raised some points.
Sincerely, I don't see. I want to be sincere.
Yeah.
Sincerely, I don't see how different Kim Promise, Akwabwa, with the exception of Kuku Fleek, I don't see how different their song is from the original or the what we've been told is the theme. Or the what how did they describe it? The official theme song for the Blackstars this year. The Kentos band one no, and these ones that we've heard no. On a more sincere note, they are all on the same level. Like there's no spirit in the songs. God forgive me, and sorry to the guys who. I'm not saying that they are not good songs, but they are not so like Blackstars. We they go, Peshepe baby. We they. That one is for people who are doing elite stuff. Football has a certain spirit that comes with it. Like you want to command things, like you're enchanting. And so this one, the Kentos one, and Akwaba's one, they are for the beast. I'm not sure that kind of spirit will take us to the World Cup and make us successful at the World Cup. They are good songs, I won't lie to you, but it doesn't just cut for a Jama song for me. Like we said, when you think about everybody blow your drum, it's a song that calls you to join. This one, I don't know how they use it in music. Like somebody calls you, Blackstars, we they go
forward ever, backwards never.
There's nothing that is calling me to join the song. Jama has a way of calling you to join. I don't know. Is that a better word?
Call and response.
There's no call and response with these songs that we've heard. All applause to them for trying very hard to put us in a good light, in terms of putting together a song.
Just spoke.
No. In terms of putting together a song that would project our image, a song that will give us, the attitude for the World Cup. But this is not the song that we are used to. It's not a song that has done the magic all this while, and I don't think it will do the magic. I'm sorry.
Okay. Lastly, Cyril, then we can look at another angle to this conversation as well, so we can come back to the appreciation, conversation. But what are your takes? And I'm looking at a technical review from your end, Cyril. You understand? I hope you understand.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Honorable.
Please. When you are doing this, what they are doing right now is a theme song.
We have about 9 minutes more to go on this conversation.
And the theme song is also usually attached to a brand. And if you don't understand the ethos of the brand, you will not be able to execute accurately. It's like if you were doing a song for a bank, it needed to be some way, some tempo, some vibe, some language. If you were doing something for an alcoholic brand, a bitters or whatever, it needs to fix.
Can you give us an example of? Can you give us an example of this?
Oh, I'm just giving you an example. Yankonum bitters. That kind of.
And I think the brief for this song has been with us forever. It's the simplest song to make.
The template did.
Because even if you just look at Asamoah Gyan, when he raises morale, he gets up. Oka Sama Frama, then the whole place. Jama, it's like written in chalk, in stone, everywhere. Football is about Jama, stadium, the crowd outside, the guy at home. every SS,
The euphoria.
every street, every corner that they are watching ball. Jama is the unifying sound, genre, style, content, even the lyrics don't need to be touched. If you have a powerhouse like any of these artists and they did their rendition of a Jama song at that tempo and at that style, but with their own voices and their creative touch and their new production styles and whatever, that's it. That's an elevation to something you're already sure has been tried and tested. Nobody has tried and tested Jama with football and failed. So why are you giving me Afro beats for football? Why are you giving me Afro pop
New school.
for football?
New school.
This is not the time to define a new genre for a theme song that already exists. It's not that we don't have songs for Ghana football. We do. The songs are called Jama songs.
Yeah.
So if you are trying to bring your brand to that fusion, you don't totally disregard what already existed and is successful. Do you understand? What if I wanted to do a Blackstars song and did a rap song? 16 bars, I can rap.
Which Sarkodie has actually done before.
Yes, and how far
Yes,
did- how far did
Sarkodie
it go?
yes. Well, I mean, for those who love rap, we would
For
only
those who love
listen.
rap and
But
Sarkodie
it
to
didn't
go
have
far,
that, yeah.
but on a national level, if we went far
Yeah.
enough, we'd have it today.
That's why you don't even
Exactly.
remember it. You know, I can
You
remember
get what I'm
this
saying?
Ashley
So
song.
for when you are doing a brand song or a theme song, it's no longer about you, your comfort zone, what you are good at or what you are
Target
known for.
market.
It's about the target market and the brand. And if you cannot combine what the target market wants and what the brand represents, you will fail with the brand song.
Does
Jay,
anybody oppose to? Okay,
I
was
wanted
just-
to add. Okay, I just wanted to add to what Shiro is saying, right, about combining your brand and that of the brand
You're working for.
Talal Fatah's "Come On Blasters" Ghana, right? Before the song starts, there's what's music talking about.
Blackstars, we go do. Blackstars, do or die.
So it plays for like about 20-30 seconds.
Yes.
I didn't like the song,
So
but just
initiate-
saying.
Yeah.
No, you are,
At that time,
you
we
are
didn't
not
have
about-
options.
Yeah. Then you
Come
become
on,
then
Blackstars,
you hear-
And
Ghana.
Talal Fatah was using Metro at that time to penetrate us.
No, for me, I mean, not to downplay that song, but I didn't like it. I mean, I have a right not to like a song, and I didn't like it.
Blackstars.
So what I'm saying
we
is,
It was
go
too
do.
sweet.
what I'm saying is that song was sweet, right? Just like Can Promise's own, right? So maybe just maybe if they had a bit of the
Yeah.
Jama,
And for clarification, before
Okay.
we are taken out of context,
Right.
It's not that the songs are no good.
Oh,
they are
we said
good.
that.
These
are
We
good
said that.
songs.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
said
These
that.
are nice songs.
Yeah.
They're enjoyable.
Yeah.
But if you want a song that's going to ignite the nation
Yeah.
around one of our most loved pastimes,
Yeah.
then you need to ask what the pastime wants to hear.
Wants to hear.
And consistently, since Adam, we've already somehow come up with our own genre
Template, yeah.
and our own template for the kind of song that sells football. And it's
Yeah.
called Jama.
Jama.
Maybe they wanted an international way of,
That's the
putting it
problem.
out.
We
Let me-
always
let
think
me
that
hear-
disregarding,
let me hear,
you know,
Rob's
international
opinion.
does not mean, listen, we confuse, and this is not to Miss G, but in general, and everybody listening, please, international does not mean unauthentic. You can do a song in the most niche language, right? In the most niche style. But your production quality, your promotion, and how you choose to use that niche content to engage everybody around the world makes it international. Gangnam Style. Nobody understand what the guy said, but they pushed it, they activated it, they made it pop, and it was an international success. Even though till today, nobody can tell me what it was.
Okay, Gangnam
So when we
Style.
keep saying international in Ghana, we mistake it for throw away your authenticity, throw away your ethnic sound, throw away your rural
Yeah.
sound. That's not it. You can do Wiala not international. Wiala is one of the biggest
This week, this is one thing
international.
that I have taken.
My
this
sense
week.
has come in.
This
Yes.
week.
My Bluetooth is working now.
This week, Rob, you were going to react to this.
Yeah. I was going to say that. So for me, I just wanted to give them a little window. Why? Because we are artists, and artists is about expression and some amount of freedom. So when we do that, we'll just box people. So let's stick to what we all know, but let's also always allow a little window for creativity and exploration, because sometimes you might just not know what that might bring. Now, I was watching the Kim Promise one, and I felt melodies, and I'm thinking of editing. Like
Yeah.
if you
Rob, I will need you to straighten the mic up for me this way. So
This-
yeah, if
that
you can.
way?
No, the other way instead. I'll walk you. I have Olede help you out. Yes.
okay, that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
I
this
was-
is here. That's how here.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry. Yeah, so basically I was watching and I'm like, okay, so this could capture some mood, based on whatever play happens on pitch. Like look, I'm listening to the
like
song.
Like the Blackstars matches, you mean?
Yeah, like several matches being played, and I'm like, okay, this song is good for editing. This song is good for this. It's good for this kind of emotion. This, because you might not really get all of that. You might not really get some emotions from the Jama feel, because Jama is calling for excitement only. But if you want to be able to capture some other emotion, that kind of song for scoring purposes, and what scoring is all about. So I thought, it might play a role. So again, I'm just having that window, because I can't assume I know all things. So that's what I'm just saying. That the traditional thing is to have the Jama. And for me, again, it is always an opportunity for us to sell what we have. We know what has happened with the almost and where it's gone to.
Yeah.
So again, I'm just thinking,
That's
that's like, this is an opportunity to reinforce the Palogo beat that has been used for a particular Jama in a very contemporary way, if possible. So for me, it's just about the explorations, and that's my reaction to it.
Okay.
I just want to add something quickly. I've been thinking through after speaking. I'm thinking, give me freedom, give me fire, give me. It's not Jama. Wait,
exactly.
It's not Jama. Maybe in these young men's mind, they're trying to do something that is more like a theme song, not just for Ghana, for maybe penetrating the World Cup. Because I'm looking at the theme songs we've had over the period, and I might be wrong. I'm just thinking, like some of the ones that Cyril has played this week, most of them, or if not all of them. No, wait, I'm just saying. So they're thinking that maybe via this exposure, social media is big. Of course, Buga went viral via social media, and he's going to the World Cup. So maybe somebody will hear this one and say, oh, this is a very nice theme song for Ghana. Come and sing it as an anthem in Qatar. No, I'm just thinking, because some of the songs that we've heard as theme songs are not Jama, but they've gone worldwide.
So that's what I'm asking. What is the purpose? I mean, that's what I want to. Okay, let me have you react to it. I want to ask a question because of what Rob has just said.
I'd like to apologize to our listeners for missing these comments. Listen, you see, strategy.
Guys, we have 2 minutes on
when
this conversation.
Kenan did his thing, he did it with Coca-Cola. And Coca-Cola spent money to push it into everybody's ear and eyeballs. So that by the time it was World Cup time, even when you hear the melody of the song, you know what they pop. You understand? Shakira, J-Lo, Pitbull, Akon, Pepsi. These are big budget conversations. And even with Buga was trending and pushed on digital media as the carnival and celebratory song for a long time to program us ahead of the World Cup. Right? So if we are doing a Blackstars song and you are aptly calling it a Blackstars song, it cannot also simultaneously be a world song. All these other songs I've mentioned are generic. Waving Flag, right? It's generic because everybody has a flag, so everybody can connect to it. Akon and and Kerry Hilson, All Africa. Exactly. In Africa can resonate with it. Waka waka, it's literally nothing, right?
The song
but
that
everybody,
had a lot of controversy.
Exactly. So these are done generically. They are not listing Wakasu and blah 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 in any of the songs. There's no Brazil, Argentina in any of the songs, because these are generic world songs. So even the genres that I read out, all of them are world fusion, and that tells you that they took a little here, promoted the song for up to a year, 8 months ahead to get people to care about it, and then they activated it using the World Cup. That's reverse.
Okay, hold on, Cyril, please. Let's play the official song that has been selected for the Blackstars, produced by Kento's band.
That's
right?
what he said.
So let's
Cyril,
play.
that's what you said. Oh, anyway,
I saw it on social
it's actually on there. It's Kento's on there.
Kento's is there.
Yes, let's hear that song now.
Yourselves. Brace yourselves.
I know
production
production wants us to say talk, but I just want to have a moment of silence.
For what? For the song.
What's died? What's died?
Blackstars.
You just killed the Blackstars and the song.
Are you saying this is the song that would help us return?
Let me tell you something.
Tell us
Tell
something.
us.
Tell us.
See, I've been very quiet through this conversation, but let me just break something down technically.
Solomon.
Now, I've reached a point in time in my life where sometimes I feel that
In your long life,
on a very
since
serious
64,
note,
yes.
So Jay had the serious face.
I feel that we are having global conversations when it comes to everything we do: fashion, music, food, economy, politics. It's not just you anymore. So we are on a certain global competitive stage, day in, day out. Now, I always feel like, and not to downplay anybody's artistic impression of something, but in art, when you challenge yourself, and that's how artists think, when you challenge yourself again, and you produce something and you say, no, I think I can do it better. If you don't, the brain will leave you at where it is. That is how the brain works. It will leave you there. If you challenge yourself again and again and again, you'll be able to improve upon what you've done over and over again. Now, let me just come back to technicalities about this production.
Thank you.
Number one, putting that reverb choir effect on this makes me feel like I'm in church. That's one.
I agree.
Number two, I know it was partly played live, but I can sense an element of a lot of digital recording in there. So I am a bit, if it's Jama I'm trying to produce, Jama, I wouldn't produce it like that. So it takes me away from the original connection that I'm supposed to feel in this. I'm lost. Number three, with we have a certain progression in Ghanaian music. Okay, that's why an organist who doesn't read music and who plays chords can easily play every hymn you sing in church, because we use a certain progression and it cuts across about 99% of all the songs that we sing. Now, that progression is really a charismatic progression. So it sits well with church music. So when you translate that progression into the secular space, you realize that almost all the songs, like she said, the King Promise, they sound the same. There's nothing different about them. So I feel like this is a very easy production that has been done. This is just my opinion. That has been done. And I feel like equally, if we forget the visuals, they nailed it with the characters in there. I love the idea. That is very creative, you know, and playing all how they use them, I like it. But it comes back to, for me, the music. And I feel like we still missed a certain, and you mentioned things like, Rob mentioned things like when to use the music. Like, we missed a certain opportunity for us to sell a certain authentic, like Cyril said, authentic Ghanaian music. When you take the NDC's campaign song.
You like that song.
No, I'm not being political.
No, I'm saying you like the song. I didn't say you like the party.
There's a reason why people jam to that music for its purpose, rhythm, pace. Forget that
Okada, hey, Okada.
I'm telling you, a mix of speech, a mix of music. Like, I don't need to explain it to you why people were singing. I wish we could have played that song.
Let me.
So sometimes I feel like we just have to, you know, in music production, right? It's very easy. And studio, I've been a studio rat all my life. It's very easy for. It's very easy for you to produce a song in the studio and like it because of the acoustics and everything in there. But when the song comes out, you know, I feel that's where we sometimes fall short on these things.
I want to add to what you said. You know, for the NDC song that you are referring to, the goal of that song was to connect with the local listener.
Yeah, definitely.
But the misdirection of these World Cup songs, the goal has been to connect with the diaspora. And that is that's where they shot themselves in the foot.
My question is, are you even sure that that's the goal?
No, even if it's not conscious. What I'm saying is that it's not conscious. We have a habit in this country that the less authentic, the less rural, the less traditional the thing is, the more refined it is automatically. So the guy's name is Akwesi, by it's Flexia when it's Akwesi. Right? His name is Kujo, but it's Flexia when it's Kujo. We do that. We downplay our authenticity in our language, in our communications, everything, and think that downplaying it makes us refined. Oh, you then stay and kick the time. That's why his name be Akwesi. Bro, there's still an Indian in New York called Ranjit. It's not called Ranjit. It's still called Ranjit. You understand? It's only Africans who throw away their...
So it's supposed to be J. Foley.
Very good. He's a criminal. He's the one who arrest him. Who arrest him after. You get what I'm saying?
Come on. If I may, and if I may ask production to get any of Grace
I've been told we have a minute more because we need to move to the dance conversation
I really hope you could have gotten Grace Ash's songs or any of the Blackstars songs to just properly juxtapose what we are listening to now and what was the difference with what
I
she
think
did
this is
earlier.
just refined.
Nothing is going to outdo Jama.
I think this is refined Jama. At least we could
She
tell
said
that.
refined Jama.
Yeah, we could tell that they try to what's the word to use? Infuse, a bit
Jama.
of Jama, and that's what we tried dancing to see whether
and
it
the tempo works.
But the thing I have a problem is how we are going to learn these words.
Exactly.
Use it during the Blackstars play or during this World Cup and be able to sing it whilst they are playing and party with it. I don't even hear a thing that they are saying. All I hear is
that's why the strategy
and then score the goal. That's what I'm hearing.
Let me tell you why.
So let me just finish.
Sorry.
So the point I'm trying to make is
I can't make the point. Sorry, because we need to move.
No, let's move.
Yeah. So when she finish.
Okay. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I don't think they did it for us. Maybe they did it for themselves to for a certain glam that comes with it, or GFA for Blackstars, and it comes with a glam. I also noticed that they didn't try mentioning any name so that it will be generational. But as to how the song will live beyond my generation, I do not know.
Well, anyway, let's
speak out.
One thing that the song actually would do to you at the end of the day is Serial and Miss G were dancing in here. That's to
no, they weren't dancing.
Yeah,
we're trying to see if
they
we could
were
do Jama.
trying to see if they could connect.
They could connect
with the Jama.
Yeah, Serial was seeing Jama. But that brings us to a conversation this morning while we have Mr. Robert Clark join us this morning is Dancetera. In fact, let's go straight into it because of time. Tell us all about Dancetera and what motivated this initiative.
Okay, so Dancetera is a dance platform created or curated for the purposes of advancing the interest of dance in this country, and then obviously to be able to have some stretch across the African continent everywhere and anywhere necessary. For some time, everything within the arts, well, as I say, we had music being represented and you had other aspects of the arts being represented, and I just saw that dance was not being represented. It was heavy. It is heavy. A lot of people doing it, a lot of people practicing it, but it didn't have an umbrella, it didn't have a brand, it didn't have a push, it didn't have an agenda, more or less. So it was necessary to introduce something that would just bring people together, rally around, and then push the agenda. So I started that, and hence the name Dancetera. Dancetera as in dance, etc.
Okay.
So put together. So it's not if you're
what
saying
the etc. captures
music is in there and all the other elements that makes what it is, like the fashion, because again you need to be able to be abreast with the fashion, the attitude, everything that goes along within that particular space. So that's the Dancetera. So one of the key things we gave birth to was the Ghana Dance Festival.
Okay.
So we thought we should have a festival that celebrates dance, because again, when you talk about dance, people didn't have a lot of knowledge about it. It felt more like it was sitting in the schools in terms of you going to performing arts, and then you learn at the higher level what dance is, and then everybody else was doing things that were traditional, and then you might see snippets of dance on television selected by an editor, and it might just be the gyration, and you might just end up thinking, okay, this is what dance is all about. So we thought we should just represent dance in its purest form, in its authentic form. Represent all the genres that there are with respect to dance. And so that is how the dance festival started. And we started by reaching out to our foreign counterparts, and it's been running since 2015. And then we realized again that it was difficult for us to be able to pitch what we were interested in get onto radio talk, get onto television, be seen. It was almost like every day you kept on begging. So we created a television platform that was Dance Terra TV, so that we can use that to advance the interest of dance and become a mouthpiece of dance. And it was on multiple platforms. And then out of that, we also started something called Dance Sports.
Dance
Sport.
Oh, sport. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Serial very soon, reporting on the dance sport activities as part of your regular sporting platform.
Interesting.
Yeah, so dance is part of the Olympics. As a matter of fact, they started treating dance as a sport from like 1907. You understand? And it's been going on elsewhere and everywhere, but Ghana has not really seen it as that. So one of the key things we've been pushing and trying to push heavily from this particular launch, which we are going to be doing today for the Ghana Dance Festival 2022, is to highlight the sport aspect of dance. And so there are going to be a series of activities during the festival just to highlight the fact that dance is a sport and the fact that dance is part of the Olympics, and Ghana will have to eventually be there in that particular spirit to represent Ghana in that space. So that particular field is also a green area, and we have to push hard and be able to have our representation duly established.
Is this effort trying to sort of integrate, all these dance academies and groups, and are they cooperating to be under this Dance Terra umbrella?
Yeah, well, they are cooperating. We've been working for quite some time now, and it came not necessarily as a force, as in like by force be a part of this, but they saw the value. They saw that it was necessary to be able to help and push the agenda within the community, and so they all aligned themselves. So we also now formed the Dancers and Dance Sports Association of Ghana, and honestly, based on where I am, where I sit, and what I see happening in all the other associations and the plenty fights, we've had to rework even the bylaws that governs the association so that it doesn't follow the same format and patterns that I'm seeing, because it's not really helping us. Like today, see Gamro, Gamro is not really an association. Well, it's an association though, but you see, what's the name? Musica. You see, like the Five Pack. You see, and then sometimes, and the things are not going on well, and then you have to be very clear, because we have a clear mandate, and we don't want any association issues to be in a space of that which needs to be accomplished for the dance community.
Well, there's, talking about indifferences in some of these groups, I know some of the dancers themselves have got all kinds of shades going on. In recent times, there was an article that, and this is a question, I know Ms. Julie will help me ask it, there's an issue regarding split on division between Dance God Lord and the manager, and people are saying I've left the DWP Academy and all those things. Are these things a threat, to the dance culture and this unifying, if I can say, culture you want to bring in there?
No, it's not a threat. To want to be a part of something, it's part of human life. To want not to be a part of something is still part of human life. As a matter of fact, even if you go biblical way, it says that a man shall leave his father and his mother. I mean, that's normal. After some particular age, it's normal that these things occur. So it's just that at the end of the day, for as long as you identify with dance, you still belong. And once you identify with dance, still belong, then we are fine.
So you mentioned you were launching this
yes.
today.
So this year we are doing the Ghana Dance Festival. So that's 2022 edition, and we're starting today with a launch at Gold Coast Restaurant behind the police headquarters cantonment. And so we're going to be launching our 6-star dance project. By 6-star, I mean 6 strong points that we are going to be discussing as or championing in the next few days, all the way through, maybe for a period of 5 years, just to be able to transform the community and the sector. And we're going to go hard. Tonight is going to be performances like never before from different people. Everything that's going to be represented is going to be unique and different to showcase and highlight the different genres of dance tonight. And then after that, we are going to have series of activities. So the series of activities are like about 15 of them, all the way till the 4th of December. Yeah, and so we are going to have the dance sports. So there's various competitions on different days. So one of the key elements there is traditional dance competition.
Okay.
Because it's geared towards raising the image and level of participation and excitement with our traditional dance, because some form of research clearly shows that it's image and respect is going down. We know it's ours, but it's not being projected. Other dances are being projected higher, so we are championing that particular aspect as well. There's also the Afro Latin, where we are doing couples dance, from high life to kizomba to bachata to merengue to all of that. It's in there. And one of the key things you will see in this festival is the fact that the Afrobeat songs are now being danced to kizomba music.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So then it's sort of like you've learned a dance from elsewhere, and you have the opportunity to use songs from your world to be able to dance to that. And I think that's all, it's fantastic. It's giving us multiple ways of enjoying the same music, so therefore music consumption of what we are doing is high. So there are quite a number of things, and we're going to finish off on the 4th with a football session, a soccer session, dances, and the industry. So I'd like to find out who's playing.
4th of December or January?
4th of December.
4th of December.
Yeah.
Hopefully by then,
Blackstars will have won our first
play
soccer
game.
Because we are finishing on our finale is on the 3rd, which is a Saturday. And our legs will be okay by then. Then 4th, if you break our legs, we don't mind.
So tonight it's free.
Yeah, it's free.
Okay.
We're just launching. We are just talking about everything goodie with respect to dance. So everybody and anybody can come through.
All right. Thank you so much for this conversation on Dance Terrain. We wish you all the best. I do owe you something, but I'm going to get it sorted out today as well. Thank you so much as well. And the part about the dancing, the kizomba.
I was going to say kizomba.
My brother will be there.
Bro, you know something. You are my brother. I was just going to say that you didn't give us the date for the kizomba.
So from next week, it's on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We are dancing at different venues. So if you go to Ghana at Ghana Dance Fest or Ghana Dance Festival on Instagram and whatever, you get the information.
We'll get the information there. Kizomba.
Our time is up. We have to go now. Switching over to Plus 89.9 FM as well. You can also enjoy some great music with Lockdown there, as well as right here on Thursday, Throwback Edition.